Welcome to the latest Walk and Talk. I'm John from GPS Training, and today we're joined by Jane, who's my wonderful wife, and also Trudy, our cockapoo. She even sits when we say her name. There we are. Can't get
So well trained.
So where are we today, Jane, and what are we going to be doing?
Today we are on the Northumberland Coast Path. We've got beautiful Holy Island behind us. You can see the causeway is open, so we've got lots of vehicles just making their way across the 3 miles onto the island itself.
And where are we going to go walking today?
I thought we'd head north today. We're going to end up in Berwick upon Tweed.
So we're going to walk 9.5 miles up the Northumberland Coastal Path.
Coast Path.
Coast Path, sorry. With
Correct name.
a Garmin GPSMAP 66SR, currently Garmin's best-selling GPS unit, which is the one with multi-band and also has a built-in battery. Really cracking GPS unit. I'm going to follow the Northumberland Coast Path. So, now we know what it's called. So what we need to do first is import the GPX file into Garmin BaseCamp. We need to edit it into our day-by-day or our day section and then transfer it onto this GPS unit. So I did that yesterday, and here's me doing that. So before we start the walk, we just need to import the GPX file and edit it down accordingly. We could plan the walk in its entirety, but why not just import a GPX file that somebody else has created? So what do we need to do? We need to find a GPX file. Lots of places to find it. One place is the online resource from GPS Training. So if you just go to gpstraining.co.uk and click on online resource on that top menu bar, it takes you to the GPS Training online resource. And then if you go to courses at the top, right down at the bottom, you'll see it says GPX Library. Click on that, it will then open up. There's lots of training videos at the top taking you through what I'm going to quickly do now. But down below, we've got long distance trails. So we've got national trails, trails in Scotland, and then trails in England. And it just brings up. When it opens up, it's actually in alphabetical order. So I'm just going to quickly scroll down to Northumberland Coastal Path. It's the Northumberland Coast Path, a little diagram showing where it is. It's actually 63 miles in its entirety. And I just press this download the Northumberland Coastal Path, and you'll see it's gone down to the bottom left hand corner. It's downloaded onto my Mac in this case, again very similar on a PC. I just go back to Garmin BaseCamp. I've got my collection here. I've created a folder, long distance trails. I've got my list there, which is Northumberland Coastal Path, and I literally go to File, Import into Northumberland Coastal Path. And then I just look at my downloads, and there it is in my downloads, the Northumberland Coastal Path GPX file. I just press import, and that imports into it. Now you can see it's the whole of the trail, it is. Now we're not wanting to walk the whole of the trail, we're just going to walk from Holy Island, which is this point here. So we're going to do this top section up to Berwick upon Tweed. So I just zoom in on the area where it is. So this is the causeway going over to Holy Island. I literally can just click on the point, and it opens up the waypoints at that point. So it opens up the waypoint of where I want to split it. And there's a little tool on the Mac here. It says split at selected points. So I've now split it into 2 tracks. I've got the top track, which is what we're going to walk, and this one, which is the bottom section of it. So I can just delete that one because I don't want it. Edit and delete it. And all I'm left with is this top one. Again, if I want to, I can even change the colour of it so it looks a little bit brighter and a little bit more cheerful. We can see it's 9.5 miles and there's 170 track points in it. So that's what we're going to be walking today. And from there, I can rename it. So I can just quickly rename it. So call this Walk and Talk NCP for Northumberland Coastal Path. And then I literally just right click, send to device. So what do I want to send? I'm going to send it to the GPSMAP 66SR. I'm going to send the routes, waypoints and tracks. I always have all those 3 ticks. And just press that. And that sends that to it. It says transfer complete. And then I just press close. And now it's there on my GPSMAP 66SR. So at the start of the day's walk, we just need to do a couple of things. We need to make sure we've got a satellite signal so our GPS knows where we are. We need to calibrate the compass. And the next thing we need to do is reset our trip and track date. So on this unit, we just press the enter button. As long as it's 0, 0, we press enter again, and that now starts recording the track. Next thing we need to do is just load that track. So we go to find, come down to tracks, press enter on tracks, puts the nearest track at the top, which is the Walk and Talk NCP. Put enter on that, it overlays it on the map. There it is at top 9.5 miles, it overlays it on the map, and we literally just press the enter button there. And we now get the navigation arrow at the top. There's the map down below, and we can either navigate on that page or alternatively on the compass page. And what do? we just follow that arrow. So, whereabouts does a GPSMAP 66 SR fit in the Garmin stable? It's currently Garmin's best-selling outdoor GPS unit for a number of reasons. Let's think about where it came from, its pedigree. So, we used to have a 62, 64, and then we jumped up to the 66. That was the first time we went to a 3-inch screen on a button GPS unit from Garmin. The 66S came along with some really nice features. A 65 then came out at the same time than the 66 SR. What's the differences then in the 66SR? 66SR has a built-in battery, 25 hours of battery life. It's what's called multi-band, so it uses 5 satellite systems. Then it takes 2 bands off each system. It then cross-references it, and as long as they're the same, it uses that satellite system. It goes hugely accurate, which we'll look at a little bit later on in the walk. Accurate GPS unit. Other key thing is it's got built-in topo-active mapping, which is Garmin's own European mapping, which we'll look at again a little bit later on the walk. So if you do go overseas, you've got some really good mapping on there. Topo-active map is a proper digital map. So as you zoom in, you get more information. As you zoom out, you get less information. A button GPS unit, really good for that 4-season walker, because a lot of people will wear it, use it with their gloves on in winter. And again, it's very popular. Nice thing about a button unit as well, it actually tells you on the buttons what it's going to do. So kind of you've got your find, your in, out button. So if you're someone who doesn't use a GPS unit on a weekly basis, and you're a bit forgetful, it's actually quite an easy GPS unit to use. And they say massively popular. You know, one of these that we've really struggled to keep in stock over the past 18 months really. So again, people buying it. Like I would say, a third of all units that we sell will be GPSMAP 66 SRs. Overall, cracking unit. Again, nice size, so it sits there on my rucksack strap. So you know I'm a big fan of the backpack tether. Just sticks onto there. It's not heavy, it's not cumbersome. I don't know it's there, and I've got my hands free because my GPS unit's attached to me. Again, nice thing about that, it's actually attached to a lanyard, so if it does accidentally fall off, it's always going to be attached to me because it's got that lanyard on. So overall, a stunning GPS unit really. And yeah, if you look at GPS unit, it is a little bit more expensive. It's that top end of the market. It's certainly worth considering. This area that we're in now, we've got the sand dunes away to our right hand side, and then we've got the beach, which is actually now a nature reserve. Lovely sand flats, is that the correct term? I think it is.
I think it is, yeah.
And there's actually a tower here, which is a watchtower. And what was during the wars, or before the wars, they used to practice their bombing on these on the sand here, because it's lovely. When the tide goes out, that's why we've got the causeway over to Holland. When the tide goes out, we've got this wonderful stretch of miles and miles of sand. And what used to happen in the past is that they would drop the bombs, and there's this watchtower here, which is high up, and it looks over all the sands. They'd be able to see exactly what was going on. So
it's amazing, isn't it, because it is such a flat area and there's not an awful lot around here, and there's not many buildings, bit of a farm ahead of us, but then on the horizon you've got this building. It's quite striking, isn't it?
And I remember, I think it was about 30 years ago now, when we first moved up to Northumberland, I remember reading something in a local paper, in the journal paper, which is a daily local paper, about them clearing the unexploded bombs out of the beach there.
I think there is still quite a lot that's sort of lying around here as well, isn't there? I don't think it's live anymore, but there is quite a bit to be found still. And you still get a lot of the concrete blocks along the coastline here, don't you?
Exactly right, yeah. Yeah, it's quite an interesting feature, and it kind of takes a look back. We've seen 2 people so far. We've seen one walker.
A whole 2.
And then a runner as well.
A runner as well.
So.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Let's head on our way. So we're just going to look through the main pages that we'll use when we're navigating. First thing, look at that screen in the sunshine. This GPS unit is absolutely stunning, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. You notice I've actually just dropped off the path a little bit. It's quite windy, so I thought I'll just drop off. So we're a little bit off to the right. You can see that on this. It's got 125,000 mapping on it. So you can see the path is just up, and you can see the blue behind is a track, which is the breadcrumb trail, which the GPS shows. And you see the arrows pointing us back up just to the left, which is where we should be. So again, it got 125,000. When I zoom out with this map set, you actually also go to 1 to 50,000, which is what we see there. So again, 1 to 50,000. As you zoom in, we go to 1 to 25,000. We do. So to navigate around this GPS unit, we just press the page button, which is this bottom button here. Press page, and you see you get this across the bottom. Whichever page you want to go on to, you stop. So let's look at the satellites. 6 feet accuracy, there's our 10-figure grid reference. Map page we've just looked at, I've got my compass rose at the top, and that's me, the little blue arrow, and that's the track that we're following, the pink on the screen. Then we've got the compass rose, which tells you distance to your next waypoint, time to next waypoint, ETA of destination, and the speed that we're walking at the moment. And then we've got the trip computer. This tells us how far we've walked, how high we are, how long we've been stopped for, ETA of destination. All these are completely changeable. Again, you can change these to your own personal requirements. And then we've got our elevation data. Again, it's fairly flat because we're walking a coastal path. And then back to, well, the main menu, which is that you can get various other bits and bobs on there. So your active weather, it tethers with your mobile phone, so you can get live weather on it, you get smart notifications on it, and this kind of thing. So that's your main navigation around it. So again, most of the time when I'm navigating, I'm either navigating on the map page with the compass rose at the top, or alternatively, I'm navigating on the compass page. Now, I'm pressing page to go that way. Alternatively, press the quit button down the bottom. You'll see it goes the opposite way. Now, a lot of people say how to put this compass rose at the top. If I just press menu there, I can come down to map setup, third one down, dashboard, and we just change this for a compass again. But whatever you want, we change this to compass, change that to compass, quit, and that takes us back. So that's how we add that compass rose to the top of the map page. So that's your main navigation around the GPS map 66SR. So we're just climbing up for the wonderful Cocklawburn beach, and guess what we found there?
An ice cream van!
A fantastic ice cream van. So we've flakes and ice cream. I think only the second time we found an ice cream van on a walk.
It is, yeah. I think the last one we found was down in the Yorkshire Dales at Ingleton.
Oh, on the waterfall walk.
It
yeah,
was,
that's fantastic.
Even Trudy's had some most expensive ice cream you've ever had, Trudes, isn't it?
The guy wasn't very happy. He didn't look very happy, the lad.
He didn't get my joke, did he?
Yeah, we had a bit of a social chat with him, but I think
Come
he was
on, Trudes.
a teenager, wasn't too impressed by it. So.
Well, I mean, he's probably been stuck there since 8 o'clock this morning,
right,
bless him.
So we're just heading up north, and we've got this, we're just leaving the sandy beaches now. We head on to the cliff top walking, which is just south of Berwick. We've just got another 2 or 3 miles to go. Fantastic sunny day. Yeah, so we'll get hopefully some stunning shots of the cliff tops as we walk along the next section. So on this walk and talk, we're actually navigating a track. So there's a number of different ways that we can navigate. So there's either route, which is what you'll use the majority of the time when you've seen me doing route planning on the free owned and survey route planning software. We tend to navigate a route. A route is a collection of waypoints that have been joined together, and what we get is we hit a waypoint is we usually get an audible beep on our GPS unit. Now a track is a silent navigation, so it's very similar than a route, but in the case it's made up of track points, and this time it's a silent navigation, so therefore you've got to keep looking at GPS to make sure we're going in the direction. Now if we do go off the track or too far off, it actually gets a vibration and it beeps and it says off course. So it draws your attention to it if you stray from it. There's also a course as well, which we can put on GPS units now like this, which if we transfer it via the Connect app, which you've seen my other walk and talk I did with a GPSMAP 66 SR. I then can navigate a course. And why are most long distance trails in tracks? The key thing is with a route is we are limited to the number of waypoints we have in a route. So we only allow 250 waypoints in a route. So this is why most long distance trails are created as tracks, because again, the Northumberland Coast Path is 64 miles. If you created that as a route, you wouldn't, well, you'd have too many waypoints, wouldn't you? So most long distance trails are created with a track. So if you are importing a GPX file, one thing to keep in mind is it has to be under 250 waypoints if it's a route. Now, if you do find that, you can convert it to track, but usually try and work with tracks. That's what most people tend to do when they're walking a long distance route. So that's the main options. You've got a route, a track, and finally a course. So we've just dropped down to Berwick upon Tweed. Well, it's actually not Berwick upon Tweed, is it?
It's just outside, just Spittal.
Spittal is the place called. It's a little bit of a resort just south of... Resort? It's like a tourist resort, isn't it? It's just south of Berwick. So you've got the Tweed comes out at Berwick, north of Berwick, you've got Berwick upon Tweed, and then you've got Spittal, which is this area to the south. And like this little...
I actually really like this place. I've done quite a bit of work for Shepherd's Walks, which is our other company. Along this area. It's got a beautiful old-fashioned promenade with the beach in front of it and the sea, and like a Victorian type of buildings and little play park for kids and ice cream centre and everything. So I quite like this area.
So we're just crossing the wonderful River Tweed. So there we are, Tweed going out to sea, and the Tweed heading inland there. So 3 bridges, what we call the old bridge, and then to our left is the new road bridge. And then I don't know if you can see, we'll see it's going out, it's the railway bridge right in the distance. Wonderful, striking railway distance. So your quiz for today, Jane, is...
Oh, heck.
Where's the source of the Tweed?
Oh, man. No, don't know.
Well,
I could probably think,
you've
but
been
I can't
past
be bothered.
it.
I probably have. I can't be bothered
it.
even thinking at this point.
Oh yeah, when we stayed, where are we staying? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yes,
Near
I remember.
Moffat.
We called.
It was between Moffat and Peebles,
it was,
wasn't it?
Do you know, it was so underwhelming. That's why I can't remember. And even you said, "Is that it?" It was like a little plaque on the side of a main road.
That's right.
And that was it.
Between Moffat and Peebles, it was. That's the source of the Tweed, and it comes out to sea here at Berwick upon Tweed. So we've just passed through Spittal, and now we're crossing the river and then heading into Berwick itself. So people don't know, it's a wonderful wall town. We can see the town hall up ahead.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. And we can see the town wall. Actually, we might walk a little bit around the town wall as we drop back to the car park. So if you never visit Berwick, it's an absolutely stunning place to come to. East Coast Main Line, so that's why we can see the railway bridge in the distance here now. So really nice, down to London, up into Edinburgh. East Coast Main Line, really good transport links into the region. We're right at the top end of Northumberland we are. So we're just going to skirt around the Berwick walls, drop down, and then I'll show you how we stop navigating that track we've been following, and also how we save that track, which is going to be a record of the walk that we've done today. we've hit the end of the course, it actually stopped navigating that course. So because we've actually hit there, it's automatically navigating. If we hadn't hit the course, we could have pressed find and then stop navigation, the option that we got. Because we've hit the end of the course, because it was the end of the bridge, it's actually stopped navigating. So the only thing we left to do is we need to just stop navigating, stop recording our tracks. We just press the enter button down the bottom, and there's our track. It's 5 hours 31 and 27 seconds. Just press enter again, and that there is the record of our trip. So the date of it, it's now 4:30. How long does it take us to walk? Area done, moving, average speed. We just come across, move the little rocker across this little floppy disk, and we just press enter there, and then that saves that track, which is what we're doing. So at the end of the day's walking, if the course or the track hadn't finished, we could have stopped navigating by pressing find and stop navigation, and then we do this like we did at the start, just press the enter button and we save that track, which is the record of our trip. So very much hope you've enjoyed that bit of a walk. It's quite funny, we planned it, I said 9.5 miles. Jane's watch said 10.5 and mine's done 11.5, so it kind of just shows how much running around we do when we're filming, running to and fro again the cameras.
Well, there's no point both of us running.
And also we've done a few detours as well, nipped down to the beach a few times and this kind of thing, so that's why we've got that slightly longer mileage. Again, if we can help in any way, GPS training, don't forget we have the online training course and we do the nationwide training courses. If you are interested about buying an outdoor GPS unit, please have a look at our website, which is gpstraining.co.uk. And again, if you have anything, just get in touch, and many thanks for watching from a sunny Berwick upon Tweed. Cheers guys, thank you.